Hello, my name is Justin Schreier, and welcome to a special edition of Cohasset Common. Summer is almost here, and a lot of local restaurants here in town are beginning to open up their patios once again. And today, we are here at the Red Lion Tavern, and I'm joined by General Manager Paul. Paul, good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Thank you for talking with me today.
Absolutely.
So talk to me first off a little bit about how your winter was, and then how excited you all are for the summer and for the spring.
So the Red Lion Tavern has traditionally been known for its 5 fireplaces, wood-burning fireplaces, nice and cozy. But now we're really trying to expand into the summer and spring area. We've redone our wraparound deck, repainted, all new furniture on the patio, and we have our lovely waterfall that is the crown jewel of our patio that people enjoy.
This is a really beautiful spot. It's kind of quaint and quiet here in Cohasset. And you said you redid this whole area out here.
Yes, we've really fixed it up. Want to make it attractive, a place where people can enjoy some of our lovely dishes that Chef Rich puts together for us.
Wonderful. And so talk to me a little bit about some of those spring or summer inspired dishes that you hope to be debuting very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So the chef seasonally does his menu. So he really tries to get the freshest of ingredients. So when the spring mushrooms come out, the truffles, he incorporates those into his menu. So we've gotten a lot of the spring items out, and we anticipate to have the summer ones out in the next couple of weeks.
That's awesome. So talk to me a little bit about this patio in terms of, is it fully open yet? Are you waiting to open it up?
Yeah, we opened up on May 25th.
Okay.
So the patio and the deck are open, weather permitting, and we've got a little bit of shade and we have a little bit of sun. So depending on what you want to have in your life, we've got the umbrellas to keep a little bit of shade. The deck has overhead ceiling fans. So we've got a little bit of everything for this summer. And it's got a beautiful view of iconic Cohasset Village.
That's awesome. So I got to ask, do you have a favorite dish here that you enjoy?
It's so hard because Chef Rich is such a talented chef. So I really hate to even say a favorite dish, because what happens typically is people will come in, they'll try something for the first time, and they'll be so afraid that the next dish isn't going to meet that expectations that they kind of stick with that. And our servers are trained to really describe all the dishes, so it allows people to think outside of that first dish that they had, because everything's amazing.
That's really interesting. And you were telling me that he started during the pandemic. Is that when you all took him on?
Yes. So it's taken a little bit to get us going, but a lot of people are talking about how good Chef's food is, and so it's really been taking off.
That's great, and it does feel like we're kind of moving out of, hopefully, this pandemic. I know the last couple of years were probably tough for you all. What is it like really seeing these patrons enjoying the food out on the deck, inside? What is it like seeing them?
It's amazing, because we've known what we've had to offer, and now that people are able to come in, we can see all their smiling faces, and it's just there's a nice vibe in the restaurant. So we really want to share that with everyone in the community that comes in. And
so you're the general manager. So talk to us a little bit about some of your job duties and what you enjoy doing here.
So I've been here about 2 years now, and when I realized how good Chef Rich's food was, I made it my goal to get everything else, the service, the beverage program, at the same level as the food. So that's what we've been working towards. We're getting close. We're doing really intense training with our servers and bartenders, and our bar manager Reed has put together a fantastic beverage menu this year. So we're really proud of all the work that's gone into it.
And I know you were saying Chef Rich does a great job. Is there kind of a signature drink or a favorite cocktail that when folks come here, they look forward to getting?
Yeah, so we just put together 8 new drinks. Some of them are different takes on some of the favorites that we've had. One that's super popular is our smoked old fashioned.
Okay.
And so he heats up a cedar plank, puts the glass over it, makes the drink. And now, actually, that we're in the summer, he's actually burning a little bit of thyme in there too, so it has that smell and adds to the flavor.
That's really interesting.
And for the people that are at the bar, it's also a show for them to see the fire and the smoke and everything else.
That's really interesting. Mm-hmm. What do you guys like most about being here in Cohasset?
Oh, I mean, it's a lovely location. We have amazing regulars. The community is amazing. Everyone's been showing their support, and every night I go around and talk to tables, and they just really are trying to back us and give their support. So we really appreciate that.
And I know you talked a little bit about Chef Rich. What are some of the dishes that we're going to get a sneak peek of? Or is it a surprise?
So I might leave it to him to talk about, because he's really the master of that avenue.
But he was saying, I think he was saying you guys do all types of pastas.
Yes.
Really?
So for a while he's been doing filled fresh pastas, but he just got an extruder in this past year. Wow. So now he's got his new toy. He's pushing out different shapes of fresh pastas. So we've actually made a whole section of the menu that is now called primi, which in Italian means pastas and grains. And so he's got 4 or 5 fresh pastas on the menu that you really can't find a lot of places around here with the fresh pastas with the love that Chef Rich puts into them.
That's awesome. So we're going to go in and we're going to see hopefully some of that food in a couple of minutes. But first, tell me when you guys are open.
Absolutely. So we are open Wednesday to Sunday, and we do dinner service from 5 to 9. We also have brunch on Sunday that's become very popular, and that's 11:30 to 2:30.
Oh, great. What kind of food for brunch do you serve typically?
So just like a lot of our meals, Chef has taken familiar favorites and put his own twist on it. So we have things like French toast with Nutella and stewed berries.
You had me at Nutella.
Yeah, I mean, it just adds to you can almost eat it without maple syrup. It's so good. And then we have other things like eggs Benedict, all your little favorites, little fresh made donut holes. So it's an amazing brunch, and I definitely recommend people coming and trying out.
Wonderful. So Paul, talk to me a little bit about some of the history behind the Red Lion.
Absolutely. So it was built in 1704 as a dwelling, and then in 1789 it became expanded into an inn because it was on a stagecoach line right where there were a lot of travelers. So the Red Lion Inn actually is one of the longest operating inns in America, and there's a lot of history that's been in this. There's a part in the restaurant where you can see the wall as it was in 1704. Looks like it's a picture, but it's actually a cutout of the wall. We also have a little square cutout of the floor in one of our rooms that it said it was used during the American Revolution for guns from the harbor, during Prohibition times, getting alcohol in from the harbor, and it's also been talked about being involved in the Underground Railroad as well. Wow. So the great thing about the Red Lion that I love is so many people have an attachment to this place, whether they've gotten married here or they spent their childhood or just had an amazing experience one time, so they really feel like they're part of the Red Lion. So that's why I love talking to people about the restaurant and the inn and how they've become involved with it.
And we move back inside here to the Red Lion Tavern, and joining me now is Chef Rich.
Hi.
Chef Rich, how you doing today?
So good.
Awesome. So talk to us a little bit about some of the food that we have in front of us that you have prepared for us. It looks amazing, by the way.
Thank you. So these are just some of our new spring dishes. We'll start over here. These are some day boat scallops. These actually come from Provincetown. So we're serving these with pine nuts, some vincoto, and grilled pickled grams.
Okay.
So kind of like the first spring vegetables that you'll see. We pickle them because the season's short.
Okay.
So we can have them for a little bit longer. But one of our top selling appetizers. Also, this is our warm beet salad. So this comes with a house-made burrata that we make here in-house pretty much every other day.
Really?
Yeah. And then just kind of variations of beets. There's a puree, some roasted beets, pickled beets, and there's a little bit of pumpkin seed brittle on the top, just for texture. This is actually our new salmon, which is kind of exciting. It's been going really well.
Looks amazing, by the way. It's huge.
Yeah, well,
it's a big piece of salmon.
We did a wine dinner a couple months ago. We did this fish in pastry, which worked really well for the dinner, and everyone loved it. And they were like, "You got to do something like this on the menu." It took us a little while and some tinkering to kind of figure out how to get it right in the service, but we did. So it's this is actually our salmon baked in a pastry crust.
Wow.
So we're serving this with pea leaves and a little sweet and sour onions. And then this is one of our new pastas. As we kind of got into spring, I generally kind of like more like Mediterranean flavors. So this is a red pepper cresta de gallo. All of our pastas are made in-house daily, actually. So this is served with sauteed calamari, some Calabrian chili, some confit tomatoes, and then some garlic breadcrumbs on top.
That's really interesting.
It's nice and light, but it has a flavor.
So I have to ask you, what's your favorite dish here?
Oh, the next one.
Okay.
It's always like once we get, people always ask me like, what's your favorite season?
Yeah. And
it's kind of that same answer. It's like you're always waiting for green vegetables in the winter because you don't have them. And then when they come, you're like, all right, cool. But now like we have most of spring in the menu here, and then like I'm looking forward to summer. Like now I'm looking for like ripe tomatoes and all those kind of things that will start to come out in the next like month or so.
What do you enjoy most about being in the kitchen?
Just being creative. I went to school for music.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, so it was, it's always about like practicing to perform. And it's kind of the same thing here, where like we spend most of our day producing for service. So like, you spend your time just kind of visualizing what a dish would look like, how you want to present it, and then ultimately getting it to our guests at the table. So I think there's a lot of like correlations between those kind of fields. So it's really like playing with flavors and playing with textures and stuff like that. It's similar to music in a way.
Final question for you, and then we'll let you go because you have dinner tonight, right?
I do.
In terms of the spring-summer menu, are there any dishes that folks should be excited for, on the lookout for, as we move into the spring and then the summer?
Yeah, definitely. We'll start doing local tomatoes and stuff like that in the next month or so. I think you'll probably see this burrata move into a tomato salad, which is always one of our summer favorites around here. I haven't really pushed too far into the seasons yet, just because we just kind of finished this stuff, but it's coming, I promise.
Chef, thank you so much for your time today.
Appreciate it.
And thank you all for joining us on a special edition of Cohasset Comment. We're going to check out some other local restaurants around town, and for now, we'll see you later.